Excuse me. All right, good morning, good morning. Thank you guys so much for joining today's video. Today is December 4th, 2024. And coming into today, my daily bias is, I actually don't have a daily bias today. The reason being is because we have already completed the daily objective actually during the Asian session. So as soon as we opened up at 6 o'clock yesterday PM, which is basically the new start of a daily candle for me, we took out previous day high. So previous day high was here, and that was my daily objective, right? So based on, see if I can, so based on how we closed here on this, wait, whoops. We were here. Okay, so based on how we closed here on this daily candle, right? I can anticipate for this green line to be taken. So are you, just based on how we closed here on this daily candle, no, there's no technical, it's literally just purely based off of what we look like here on this daily candle. Can we anticipate for this green line right here to be taken, or can you anticipate for this red line to be taken? So prices is most likely going to attack that green line before we attack that red line. Why? It's just, like I said, there's no technicals here yet. Is this black line, is this closure of the daily candle closer to the green line or the red line? Just by eyeballing it here, we're closer to the green line. So that means my daily objective here coming into today was for us to take out the green line, which was previous day high. After prices takes out previous day high, that's when you want to switch onto a lower time frame relative to the daily time frame for more bias. So coming into this morning, I'm sorry for joining in late. I had to take my mother to work, so yeah, I wasn't able to get back on the charts here until just now. But like I said, you want to go onto a lower time frames relative to the daily time frame for now bias, right? So coming into this morning, I wanted to see how we close here on this 4-hour candle and this 8-hour candle for bias. So based on this 8-hour candle, if you view this as a daily candle for bias, you can kind of get a general idea of what prices wants to do during that specific time frame. So based on this 8-hour candle and this 4-hour candle, we close and we create a bullish closure on this 8-hour time frame. And notice how we create this fair value gap right here on this 8-hour time frame. This fair value gap should this fair value gap be treated as a gap that gets rebalanced, or should we attack the 8-hour high first before rebalancing the fair value gap? This gap is better known as a breakaway gap. So whoever said that this is a breakaway gap, props to you. This is known as a breakaway gap because this third candle in this creation of this, so a fair value gap, you need 3 candles, right? So there's one candle right here, 1, 2, and 3. This candle, don't mind this candle. There's 3 candles that creates a fair value gap. So it's a 3 candle pattern. Notice how the third candle, this candle right here, closed above the second candle's high. Because we did that, I would treat this fair value gap as a breakaway gap. So objectively speaking, if we apply that same theory to this 4-hour candle right here, let me just do that. So, oops. Alright, so actually it was here. So, this 4-hour fair value gap, right, that gets created. Objectively speaking here, what should it be treated as? A breakaway gap or a gap that gets rebalanced? Well, this is the second candle, right? This is the second candle. So I'm going to mark it. I'm going to mark this red line to its high. So did the third candle right here, this is the third candle, did we close above the red line? Is the blue line above the red line? Yes, it is. That's where we close on the third candle. So that means this 4-hour fair value gap could be treated as a breakaway gap just because we closed above the second candle's high, right? And what do we do with that? We ended up taking out the 4-hour high before rebalancing the fair value gap. Sometimes this isn't going to happen every single time. You want to see like strength on the lower time frames as well. You want to see like lower time frame fair value gaps relative to the 4-hour time frame to really support the idea that we're going to attack this high before rebalancing the 4-hour fair value gap. And that's basically how I kind of view prices here. But yeah, this is going to be a shorter stream just because my morning objective here has been already completed. We have taken out this 8-hour high, which was my morning objective, and we also did end up retracing back inside the discount of this dealing range there. So let's see if it's on the 15-minute time frame. So here's the hourly dealing range here, and we ended up retracing back into the equilibrium, taking out 4-hour high, and then now after we complete a really higher time frame objective, right? Because we took out previous month's high, so previous month's high is a higher time frame objective. Once we complete a higher time frame objective, you would want to sit on the sidelines and wait for more price, for more structure to build before before taking another trade. Here I'm just gonna sit on the sidelines. No need to really force anything. You don't lose anything if you sit on the sidelines. You actually gain more patience and discipline, right, with your models. But there's that. But with that for now, I'm done here for today, to be honest. I don't want to force anything here on to the markets anymore. But one thing I do want to go over is yesterday's trade here. So the trade here from yesterday was actually based on how we closed here on this 10-hour candle. Based on this 10-hour candle, I can anticipate for prices to take out this 10-hour high, right? I wanted to see prices take out this 10-hour high before taking out this 10-hour low. So the 10-hour order flow right now is bullish, right? So now I want to find some sort of entry model to be in alignment with the 10-hour order flow. So the trade that I didn't take this trade, but I did, like, it's just something that I did look at yesterday, was based off of this 1-hour candle. So this hourly candle is now in alignment with this 10-hour candle. And it is also the hourly high is the same high as the 15-minute and the 30-minute high. So that means I can take this on the 15-minute time frame. For me to take this entry here, this was the entry. My entry here was this 5-minute fair value gap. It is a gap that could get rebalanced, so I could use it as a entry pattern. And my stop loss here is based off of this 10-minute fair value gap. So I'm using literally every single tool set in my toolbox. What should this 10-minute fair value gap be treated as? Should it be a gap that gets rebalanced, or should it be a gap that gets left behind, be treated as a breakaway gap, essentially? Well, if you guys been following along, notice how the third candle closed above the second candle's high. That means this gap should be treated as a breakaway gap. So if it's going to be treated as a breakaway gap, meaning prices shouldn't go back into here, that's where my stop loss should be. That's a reasonable stop loss. So my entry is at the 5-minute fair value gap that could get rebalanced. My stop loss is at a 10-minute fair value gap that shouldn't be rebalanced. And my entry model here is on the 15-minute time frame, 30-minute time frame, hourly time frame. My higher time frame objective is this blue line here, which is the 10-hour high. So this is known as an expansion model. What did we do here? Trade back and forth, and then after 15 minutes, I would have closed my trade here. Or not closed my trade, but I would have moved my stops to break even, because the amount of time that we spent inside this trade was too long. I wanted to see us take out the 10-hour high, like there and then, right? But because we didn't do that in the 15 minutes, I'm going to move my stops to break even, and let's see what we do from here. I get stopped out at break even, but notice if I left my stop loss in place here, look at what we do. Complete the 10-hour objective. And I didn't even get stopped out here. But because I'm following my rules, I'm moving my stops to break even after 10 minutes, because I would have wanted to see prices complete that objective, like right there, right? I don't want to be in a trade where it's just stalling. So there was that trade from yesterday. Very self-explanatory trade. It's an expansion model, aligning myself with the 10-hour order flow, and right now the prices are just going to continue to climb higher. We actually do have an SMT here with ES, because ES has yet to take out its high, and NQ has. So there's SMT here between the markets, but it's not like I'm gonna really force anything, even if there is SMT. I would, like I said before, I would wait for more price structure, and then try to see if I can get a trade. But that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.